The Lee Jae Myung administration has approved a budget bill worth well over 700 trillion won for next year, and it's betting big on research and development. Our economics correspondent Kim Do-yeon has details.
The South Korean government on Friday approved the budget proposal for 2026, a spending plan worth 728 trillion won or 524 billion US dollars. This is the first budget proposal for President Lee Jae Myung with a theme of recovery and growth, and it's also the first budget proposal to surpass 700 trillion won.
현재 우리 경제는 신기술 주도의 산업 경제 혁신, 그리고 외풍에 취약한 수출 의존형 경제 개선이라고 하는 두 가지 과제를 동시에 안고 있습니다. 오늘 국무회의에서 의결될 내년도 예산안은 이러한 두 가지 과제를 동시에 해결하고 경제 대혁신을 통해서 회복과 성장을 이끌어내기 위한 마중물입니다.
This marks a sharp 8.1% increase compared to last year's main budget, a significant jump from the 2.5 and 2.8% growth rates seen in the two previous years. The government says it's focusing on performance-based financing, restructuring spending to invest more in what works.
For next year's budget, the government has focused on performance-based fiscal management by drastically cutting what's unnecessary and boldly investing in what must be done.
In fact, 27 trillion won was cut from restructuring inefficient projects and administrative costs from before. And much of that has been focused on artificial intelligence as the government makes efforts to focus on making the nation top 3 in the industry. That's most clear in the R&D budget, which will jump a record 19.3% from last year. Among the 12 main budget categories, this is the biggest hike. On top of R&D, the government will purchase 15,000 GPUs to build out the nation's AI infrastructure. Also notable is 2.1 trillion won, or around $1.5 billion, that's been proposed to help industries hit by U.S. tariffs, including support for shipbuilding. Direct monetary support for citizens will also grow. Most notably, a new pilot program for residents in rural areas will give 240,000 people in select counties 150,000 won per month. But all this spending inevitably leads to more debt. The nation's debt-to-GDP ratio, which had remained under 50%, will surpass that mark next year at 51.6%. By 2029, the government expects that figure to reach 58%. President Lee, however, said this is not the time to tighten the belt.
뿌릴 씨앗이 부족하다고 밭을 묵혀놓는 그런 우를 범할 수는 없습니다. 씨앗을 빌려서라도 뿌려서 농사를 준비하는 게 상식이고 순리입니다.
The budget proposal now heads to the National Assembly for a review and passing as a bill. The ruling Democratic Party's majority makes its passage highly likely. A final vote is constitutionally required by early December, with the bill expected to pass largely reflecting the administration's original vision before the end of the year. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.